ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुधैर्वेदपारगैः सा मे वसतु जिह्वाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती। यन्नित्यमानन्दमनन्तमेकं शिवेति नाम्ना स्तुतयो गृह्णन्ति। तस्यावतारो नररूपधारी कृपासुदाब्धिः भुवि रामकृष्णः। रामकृष्णगतप्राणां तन्नाम श्रवणप्रिया तद्भावरञ्जिताकारा जगन्मातृस्वरूपिणी। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्चार्थेषविघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये। सत्यस्य सत्यं ऋतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वा शरणं प्रपन्नाः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। जयति जगति माया यस्य कायाधवस्ते वचनरचनमेकं केवलं चाकलीय ध्रुवपदमपि यातो यत्कृपातो ध्रुवोऽयं सकलकुशलपात्रं ब्रह्मपुत्रं नतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमदितितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्। यस्यात्मदुःखस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। न नामते देवपदारविन्दम् प्रपन्नतापोपशमातपत्रम् यन्मूलकेता यतयोऽञ्जसोरु संसारदुःखं बहिरुत्क्षिपन्ति। धातृर्यदस्मिन् भव ईश जीवाः तापत्रयेण उपहता न शर्म आत्मन्लभन्ते भगवंस्तवाङ्घ्रिः छायां सविद्यामत आश्रयेम। मार्गन्ति यत्ते मुखपद्मनीडैः छन्दःसुपर्णैः ऋषयो विविक्ते। यस्यागमर्षोदसरिद्वरायाः पदं पदं तीर्थपदप्रपन्नाः यच्छ्रद्धया श्रुतवत्या च भक्त्या समृज्यमाने हृदये वधाय। ज्ञानेन वैराग्यबलेन धीरा व्रजेम तत्तेऽङ्घ्रिसरोजपीडम्। We are analyzing the glorification of devatas who are in the form of 24 cosmic principles. In this glorification, we come to a wonderful lesson that the purpose of the creation is giving opportunity for every living being to get freedom. The purpose of creation is getting freedom from the repeated birth and death cycle. That happens only when a person gains self-knowledge. As long as he doesn't gain self-knowledge, there is no end for his repeated birth and death cycle and travel. Because it is endless travel, the entire Srishti is called samsaraha. Experiences gained in this travel is called samsara dukkham. Though it appears to be pleasurable situation at particular moment, same experience becomes a painful one or source of painful one. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha-yonaya evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. Bhagavan Krishna says, an intelligent person will not go behind pleasurable experiences which are born out of contact between the senses and the sensory objects. Though the creation has sensory objects, though the individual is provided senses, the purpose of providing these two are not to enjoy the sensory objects, but to get vairagyam from sensory objects. The purpose of marriage life is getting vairagyam. Bhoga is never be the purpose of marriage life. The purpose of education is getting vairagyam with regard to education. Similarly, the purpose of human life is getting vairagyam and getting knowledge about the real self is the purpose of the creation. Therefore, the Devatas here says, you are the only shelter for the people who wanted to get rid of the samsara dukkham, and at the same time, you are the only shelter for the people who wanted to play in the creation, enjoying the sensory objects. That is why Purusharthas are classified as four Purusharthas: Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. Artha Kama contributes to the Ihaloka Sukham. Dharma contributes to the Paraloka Sukham. Moksha contributes to the freedom. So therefore, all the Purusharthas are possible only when a person come to your lotus feet. Jivaha asmin tapatrayena upahata sa vidyam vina na atman labhante. As long as the Atma Jnanam doesn't happen, Vidyam Vina means Atma Jnana Vidya Vina, Saha na labhate Atma. He doesn't gain himself as long as he doesn't know about himself. Up to that time, they are Tapatrayena Upahata. They are tousled by Tapatraya, Madhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Tapani. For all this tapa, who is responsible? Certainly not Ishvara, certainly not other cosmic principle or the creation. The creation responds to the action and attitude and conviction of the individual. That's all. So therefore, ataha tavangri chayam ashrayema. We come to your shelter. How you bless us? You bless us through Shastra Pramanam. Te Mukha Padma Nidaihi Chandas Suparnaihi Yet Marganti Tat Padam Rishayaha Prapanna. That Padam which is told by the Veda Margam, that way of life which is suggested by the Veda Margam, leads one to the freedom. Therefore, Rishis, those who are seeking the knowledge, they come to you through Veda Pramanam. You bless the entire creation, and that Veda Pramanam leads to all the Chaturvita Purusharthas. Karma Kanda Bhaga leads to Artha Kama Dharma Purushartha, and Jnana Kanda portion leads to Moksha Purushartha. Whatever it may be, the human life is valid one only when it is led according to the guidance of the Veda Pramanam. How to lead a life without knowing what is the guidance? Therefore, Swadhyaya and Pravachanam becomes the very important sadhana for a Yatihi arya rishihi, for a spiritual seeker, therefore only Shastra Yonitvat. Not only the Shastram shows the way how to lead life, but it shows the real nature of yourself, the real nature of the Srishti, the real nature of the individual himself. Without knowing his real nature, any transaction with the creation is troublesome transaction. It is like without knowing one's physical identity, you try to transact with the world, you will be classified as mental patient. What is the meaning of mental patient? He is not stable with regard to his physical personality, that's all. One moment he will think he as male, next moment he will think himself as female, one moment as father, another moment as husband. If a person behaves with the society in this way, he will be classified as mental patient. Why he behaves in this way? Because he is not convinced about his physical identity. If physical identity itself is not clear, it leads the person to mental hospital. What to talk about the spiritual identity? Without knowing the spiritual identity of oneself, a person relates with the society becomes the troublesome. In the same world only, all the Jivan Muktas are living. Nandadi, Nandadi, Nandatyeva. What is the difference between the ordinary person and the Jivan Muktaha? He knows about himself, he knows about the creation, he knows about the Ishvara. Correct? Like an actor, he can happily play any role. Even if it is a role of a beggar, he knows that I am not beggar. That knowledge will not contradict his beggarly role, nor it will contradict the dialogue told by the beggar. An actor knows that I am not beggar. Will it contradict the dialogue of a beggar? No. Happily he will do that. It will be more original than the actual beggar. But still he is not suffering because of beggarliness. Why? Because he knows playing the role of a beggar will make me more and more rich. First thing is I am not beggar. Second one is I will become more rich by playing this role. Therefore, happily he will play with all dexterity, with excellence he will play. This is the solution given by the Shastram. Sukame sarvada bhuyat Mahabhut dukkam kadachane iti ichet sarvasamanye te jnanadeva siddhyataha. By knowledge alone you can be happy. Therefore only having access or relating with the Veda Pramanam becomes the prime duty of the thinking living being. The Devatas being thinking living being. So they say, Te Mukhapadma Nidaihi Chandas Suparnaihi Yadu Marganti Tat Padam Rishayaha Prapanna. They surrender to you who is in the form of the Shastra Pramana. When Shastra is approached, Shastra will not open itself. It requires someone who can open the message. Then Guru Parampara comes. We can never repay the debt for the grace given by the Guru Parampara. Today is Guru Purnima. Bhagavan Vyasa Purnima, it is called. What a contribution this Guru Parampara has given to the humanity. We can never give back. Take one Acharya in that Parampara, namely Vyasacharya. What a contribution. He has classified all the four Vedas and written magnum opus called Mahabharatam, and then Bhagavata Shastram itself, then Ashtadasha Puranas, 18 Puranas, and Brahma Sutra. Great contribution. In spite of this contribution, he never boasted himself as a pathfinder. Unlike other religions, they say, I say you believe. Bhagavan Vyasacharya never told this. This is what Shastram says. So what is the difference between the founder of religion And the Acharya in the Sanatana Dharma, Acharya in the Sanatana Dharma puts the Veda Pramanam as greater one, and he serves as the commentator of that Veda Pramanam. Unlike the founders of the other religion. So they say this is what we found out. Okay, you keep it with you. And what they found out, whether it is Buddhism or Jainism or Islam or Christianity, whatever religion you take, other than the Vedic Dharma, all are with lot of fallacies. Understood? So the Guru Parampara can afford to lose any Acharya. Still it will stand. The Sanatana Dharma can afford to lose any Acharya. It can disclaim. He is not our Acharya. We will not obey. We will not accept his teaching. We can say that. Still Sanatana Dharma will survive. Understood? We can disown Krishna's teaching as not Vedic teaching if it is not Vedic. There was one Rishi called Kapilaha who has founded the Sankhya Matam. Disowned by the Veda Dharma. Patanjali Rishi, he is also Rishi who has founded the Yoga Shastram, disowned by the Vedic Dharma. So, Vedic Dharma is always eternal. That is why it is called Sanatanam. Sanatana means what? That which is eternal. How it is eternal? Like Mother Ganga, it is eternal. The flow, the waters in the Ganga go on flow, but the path is kept as it is. You understand? There is no same water. There is no possibility of same water in the Ganga. It flows to the ocean. After contributing, it flows to the ocean. But the path given by the Mother Ganga can never change. Similarly, our Acharya also, one by one they come. Sadashiva Samarambha, Shankaracharya Madhyama, Asmadacharya Paryanta, Vande Guru Parampara. It begins with Dakshinamurti Swami. For a Shaivite, for a Vaishnavite, it begins with Bhagavan Narayan. Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtam, like that. It begins. But in both Sampradaya, Vyasacharya becomes very important person because of his contribution in the Vedic literature. Prasthanatrayam, they call it. He has brought entire Vedic teaching in sutra format called Brahma Sutram. He has given entire Vedic teaching in the shloka format called Bhagavad Gita. He has given entire Vedic teaching in the form of Mahapuranas. So therefore, here the cosmic principles are very much grateful to the Lord. Oh Bhagavan, imagine a life without Shastram. What we should do, how to live, how to interact with the creation, how to bless the humanity who does puja to us, who will tell, who will guide. Therefore, te mukhapatma nidaihi chandasuparnaihi yat marganti tat padam rishayaha prapanna. That path which was tread by the rishis in the previous cycle of Srishti, in the same path only, we also lead our life. And that is possible the more and more we hear your glory through Shastra Praman. Yet Shrutavatya Bhaktya Samrujyamani Hridaye Avadharya Jnanena Vairagya Balena Dhiraha Vrajema Tatte Angri Saroja Pitham. What is the life given by the Shastra Pramanam? Hear the glories of the Lord. Simple. That is why varieties of Leela. Beginning with Srishti Leela onwards. Why Srishti has come? What is the answer? For you to hear. Ramana Maharishi was asked this question by a devotee. Why Srishti has come? He told to ask this question, Srishti has come. Then only you can ask the question. What it is, why it has come, whether it is truth as it appears, All these questions will come when it appears in front of you only. So, the Shruti gives the glory of the Lord. When a person hears that with bhakti, with devotion, hridaye avadharya, it catches his heart, then vairagyam comes towards the enjoyment part of the life. See, human life is always have both. One is enjoyment, another is knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot desire. Without desire, you cannot enjoy. While enjoying, when you come across problem, again that becomes a learning and knowledge. Then you desire for another thing, and you go for enjoyment of that second thing. Then again, that second thing also gives trouble to you. Then again, you learn it. Like that, human life is nothing but tossing between knowledge pursuit and enjoyment pursuit. In these two pursuits, which pursuit becomes very standard? Learning pursuit alone is the standard one, because you learn both in positive experience and negative experience. But you enjoy only in positive experience. Understood? You suffer in negative experience. But learning pursuit is there in two types of experience. You cannot avoid one experience. You cannot demand only painful experience, nor you can demand only pleasurable experience. But in both the experience, what is the outcome? Learning is the outcome. When the learning becomes outcome, only when you are a seeker. Otherwise, there is no difference between the human being and the animal. Animals don't seek anything. They live with instinct. As long as human being also lives with instincts, there is no difference. What is the difference between animals and the human being? Buddhirhi tesham adhiko visheshaha buddhya vihina pashubhis samana. This buddhi, the buddhi alone seeks. It chooses. These are all there. Even though 10 items are there, food item, still I will choose certain item. The choosing can be from two standpoints. I like, therefore I choose. It is good for me, therefore I choose. Again, in choosing also, knowledge is there. If you go by choosing whatever you like, you will end up in trouble. Choosing is an action of knowledge. Understood? Without knowledge, you cannot choose. And that choosing what is good, that also is the result of knowledge. So therefore, this knowledge pursuit makes a person to say at one moment of his lifetime, in one particular janma, enough of all those things. That's called vairagya. This grape I don't want because it is sour. That is not vairagya. This grape I don't want because it is sweet. That is called vairagya. Even though it is nice, I don't need because it has doshatrayam. What are they? Doshatrayam. You should go back to basics of Vedanta class. What are they? Doshatrayam. Adishayatvam. There is no end for the seeking. Mind will never say enough. Adishayatvam. The possibility of getting better pleasure, better experience. Adishayatvam. Then apekshikatvam. To get certain things to your body or senses, you need somebody's cooperation. Even to get a cup of coffee early morning, you need so many people's cooperation. Beginning from milkwala onwards, you need so many people's cooperation. First dosha is adishayatvam, second dosha apekshikatvam, third dosha is anityatvam. Any experience will be dukkha yonihi because of this doshatraya. That's why Bhagavan told dukkha yonayaha. In plural he says. Bhogaha, pleasurable situations will be Dukkha the sources of your pains, all plural only. Because of doshatrayam. This is the teaching given by the Shastra, given by the Parampara. It says, be careful, my dear. What you choose makes lot of difference. Karna was told by Bhagavan Krishna, my dear, what you choose makes a lot of difference. Every individual is given that faculty called Viveka Shakti. No one can say, I don't have Viveka Shakti. Without Viveka Shakti, you cannot choose. Even what to eat, you cannot choose. Discrimination power. Viveka Shakti means what? Discrimination power. It begins with discriminating between coffee and tea. You have that now. The mind which knows the measurement of the salt and sugar cannot escape that I don't know how to discriminate what is Nityam and what is Anityam. What is Dharmam and what is Adharmam. I don't know. It cannot say. Animals can say. So the faculty is very naturally available for human being. Those who have developed that faculty and apply that faculty in all situations, they are called rishis, they are called yatis, they are called spiritual seekers. Understood? So therefore, give us that discrimination to know the glory of your glory. Give us taste to hear your glory. Therefore, Vishwasya janma sthiti samyamathe kritavatarasya padambujam te vrajema sarve sharanam yadisha smrutam prayachyati abhayam swapumsa. Only one way to protect any living being available for Bhagavan. Bhagavan can protect any living being by only one way. What is the way? By giving this knowledge, by making the discriminative power more and more active, by giving the opportunity to hear the advertisements of the Nitya Vastu. Unfortunately, many living beings don't have that opportunity at all. If a person is born in Afghanistan or North Korea, there is no opportunity at all. You cannot hear the glory of Nitya Vastu. So here the Devatas say, all your Janma, Sthiti, Samyama, Leela, that is Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Leela, what for? What for? When you do Leela only, that Leela can be told to living beings. Bhagavan did this, Bhagavan did this. And not only Janma Sthiti Samyama Leela, Avatarasya Leela also. Now and then you take a special form. Even though you have taken the entire Vishwam as your form, still in that Vishwam also, you take a special form, Avatara form. What for? To create a story. To create a story. To teach the humanity. In spite of all struggles, humanity can live with dharma. This is the teaching of entire Ramavatara. In Ramavatara, Bhagavan comes to certain situations which he never imagines, but how he handles. Similarly, humanity also can learn from those experiences of Bhagavat Avatara, then handle their own life. Therefore only, Vrajema Sarve Sharanam. We surrender to the Shastra Parampara. We surrender to Bhagavan means what? We surrender to Bhagavan's words, Bhagavan's glorification, Bhagavan's Upadesha. Then what happens? Abhayam Prayachati. As I told, all human suffering is because of ignorance only. You have to write in your mind very clearly. If I suffer, I am the only reason. When I say I am the only reason, my deficiency in knowing things is the only reason. I am ignorant of that thing. அவர் அப்படி பண்ணுவார்னு தெரியவே தெரியல சாமி. ஏன் தெரியல? He will behave like that. I never thought of. Why? Because you are ignorant. I will come across this type of situations I never imagined. Why? When it happens to others, you came across. Then how can you believe that it will not come to you? How can you say that I am not prepared for this situation? It's all your problem. So, Shastra repeatedly says, you suffer because you are idiot. That's all simple. Any situation you apply this rule, it will fix perfectly. Any situation. You suffer because of your ignorance. Whether it is physical ailment or emotional or intellectual. Understood? Don't ask why you don't know. You have the opportunity to know. So why we go to physical doctors? Because they are knowledgeable about our body than ourselves. They are committed in learning. Therefore only we go. Why we want consultants? Because they are knowledgeable in that area than ourselves. Even nowadays, politicians now have consultants. The consultant never entered the politics. See, there is a medical consultant who can give advice how to treat AIDS. Will he be AIDS patient or will he be free from AIDS disease? He will never come across that experience in his personal life. Still, he can be more knowledgeable. But idiotic society will tell, experience will teach you. Experience will never teach you. Discrimination power alone will teach you. If you are discriminate, you may learn. Otherwise, same experience repeatedly happen, people don't learn. Repeating the same mistake. Khavo, piyo, maja karo, like that they live, again die, again they get birth, again they consider that life is for merriment, sensory pleasures, again they die. So therefore, here the cosmic principle Devata say, Yedi smrutam abhayam prayachati. If it is learnt and remembered, that knowledge gives us abhayam. That knowledge gives us protection, abhayam. And who is the source of that knowledge? Bhagavan is the source of that knowledge, being the Adi Guru. He is the source of that knowledge. Therefore, we surrender to Bhagavan, asking for knowledge from the Bhagavan. We don't need anything from Bhagavan. Other than this, we don't need anything. And in reality, Bhagavan also cannot give anything to humanity other than knowledge. All other things which we receive in our life are due to karma niyati, except knowledge. Knowledge doesn't come under karma niyati. Knowledge comes under grace. Please understand. Knowledge comes under grace, which is available always, but you can make use of it only when you tap it. It is flowing like Ganga. You can quench your thirst only when you approach it. Only when you approach. All other things are, whether you approach or not, it will knock your door. See the society, how many people, characterless people are leading the society. They are famous, they are rich, totally characterless fellows. They sit in the high chairs, totally characterless fellows. How? Because it has knocked their door. Karma niyati. Totally selfish fellows are leading the society. A Raja should have one quality to be the Raja. What is that quality? Putting others' welfare before his welfare, correct? You put this criterion. Which Raja, which ruler will qualify? Very, very few people. You can count their numbers. Even Ravana got position, power. Karma niyati. But Ravana never got knowledge. Ordinary knowledge also he did not get. Even though he got scholarship, he doesn't have that discriminative knowledge. So therefore, Abhayam prayachati. If at all Bhagavan wants to give something and protect us, or if at all Bhagavan has one means to protect us, is nothing but providing this knowledge that you are Amrutasya Putraha. Now, Acharya Swamiji used to tell jokingly, a patient who is suffering by cancer went to Bhagavan Shiva, Pashupati. Oh Bhagavan, I have seen allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy. No pati has helped me. Now you are the only pati available for me, Pashupati. Therefore you protect me. Then Bhagavan came and stood in front of him and asked, what do you want? Protect me. No, I can protect you. By what I can protect you? Save me from this disease. No, you don't have disease at all. Huh? Don't I have disease? No, you don't have disease. It is not possible for you to have disease. You are Akhanda Vastu. Your body alone can have disease. Body will have naturally diseases and it will die. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityuhu. You are Akhanda Vastu. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Like that when he told, this patient says, Bhagavan, this is not the time for Vedanta. Then Bhagavan tell, other than this Vedanta, nothing can protect you. If you understood that you are not body, you are free from problems. You will not have any fear of losing your body. No, Bhagavan, please protect me. Arey, this is the only way. This is the only way. Removing the I from the body is the only way to protect that individual from all problems. In your understanding that I is connected with this body, so that should be separated. This separation is the only solution. All other solutions are so-so solutions. Parishittu was protected physically when he was in mother's womb. Now again the same situation has come. Earlier it was Brahmastra, now it is Nagastra. Some astra. No doctor can give assurance after protecting a person from one particular disease. No doctor can give assurance that the same disease will not come or other disease will not come. Disease will come. Death, of course, it will come certainly. So what is the way to protection? Only this knowledge. If you allow the Bhagavan to talk, what he will talk? He will talk Vedanta only. That is why here our cosmic devatas are telling, please tell your Shastram. Abhayam prayachati. Yatsa anubandhe asati dehagehe mamahamiti udha duragrahana pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam. It's a beautiful idea. You have to imagine. When Devatas asked to provide them the guidance based on the Veda Pramanam about the purpose of life, about the methods of dealing with the creation, then Bhagavan said, it is available. Shastram is anadi. Shastram is anadi. Before your arrival, Shastram has already arrived. Shastram is anadi. Why you are asking me to teach? Why you are asking me to teach? Then the reply is, what to do? We are identifying ourselves with our physical entity. Asati deha gehe mama ahamiti uda duragrahana. It is available. As even we are born, Shastram is available and Rishis are available. They say Tattvamasi, but it doesn't enter our ears. What to do? Why? Because the living being is very much strong with his physical identity. As long as this physical identity is strong, any amount of Shastra Pravachanam will not do any benefit to him. See, it is a catch-22 situation. You are born with physical identity, nobody taught. Understood? Even a small puppy also knows that I am puppy. An elephant kid knows that I am elephant kid. Every kid knows that I am so and so kid. That is it. It goes for mother's feeding. Who taught? Imagine a situation wherein many dogs and cats are living in home itself. So both have given birth to children. Will the kitten go to the mother dog? No. That mother dog also has milk to feed children. But there is no confusion. Why there is no confusion in the mind of the kitten? Because it knows I am not this species. Understood? Who taught this? Who taught this Deha Abhimanam? I am cat. Proud cat. Who taught this? Nobody taught. So how to remove this? Deha Abhimanam. By Shastra Shravanam. Okay. As long as Shastra Shravanam is not done, Deha Abhimanam will not go. As long as Deha Abhimanam is there, Shastra Shravanam will not do any benefit. That is called catch-22 situation. This is how repeated birth and death happens. So somebody has to interfere and take special care. That is their grace. That is the need for grace of a spiritual teacher. You understand? Everyone knows in Hindu religion, everyone knows Amritasya Putra. We are all children of God. But who practices that in life? Please tell. When you go to temple, you take for example Tirupati temple. Everybody calls Bhagavan as what? Hey Bhagavan, I am your child only. Everybody. Correct? So the one praying person knows that another praying person also is addressing the Lord as Bhagavan and addressing himself as Putra of Bhagavan. But in spite of this knowledge, he gives a push. Like children give a push to each other in spite of the knowledge that we are children of same mother. Understood? So everybody knows that the source is Bhagavan. If he is an Astika, he knows that the source is Bhagavan and he knows that solution for all my problems is Bhagavan. Problem is because of my karma. He knows that. But knowing also, he can push another person and do adharma. He can bribe the temple wala 500 rupees and go first in the row. See, a darshan without paying money is called dharma darshan. Then, a darshan after paying the money will be what? Adharma darshan. But everybody prefers for that adharma darshan. Why? Mama aham iti deha gehe bandaha. I come first. I should protect myself. Even though Bhagavan can protect everyone, even though everyone is seeking his protection only, but still, I want special protection. I want fast protection than the people who are standing in the queue. Understood? When he stands in the queue, he complains that queue doesn't move. So he wants what? Fast protection. Eppo darshan agum? When I will get darshan? Okay, you can get fast darshan only when everyone goes with fast darshan. So that is implemented, your turn has come. After standing in front of the God, what do you want? Special darshan. You want 2 minutes extra. How it is possible? So this selfishness, which is born out of the extreme attachment towards the body, that's what yaha sanubandhe asati dehagehe mama aham iti duragrana. Agraham means what? Holding. Holding what? Asati dehagehe. Holding an house which is called asat deha. Everyone of us, we are holding the deha which doesn't exist at all as one entity. It is a combination of 37 trillion dehas. But everybody holds on this particular shape and particular form of the deha. Even if one hair falls, this fellow becomes morose. Even the nail fall, he has trouble. Understood? So, as long as this agrahanam is there, agraha means possessiveness. With regard to what? Asati deha gehe. With regard to this non-existing physical identity. Agrahanam as what? Aham mama iti. Sometimes we claim this body as I, sometimes we claim this body as mine. Sometimes as the first person singular, other times as possession. My leg is paining. I have headache. I have headache means what? Aham. When I say my leg is paining, mama. So, mama aham iti asati deha gehe uda duragrahanam pumsam. For them, even though you are available next to them, even though you are available in their form, even though you are available as their self of the self, still suduram vasati. You are very far. That is why everyone prays, oh God, hi God. Nobody says. Nobody says, hi God. Hi is told to person who is near, either physically or virtually. Hi. Oh God only they will be. Oh means what? Duram. That's what Shastram also says. Tad dure tad antike cha. For some people, Bhagavan is very near. For some, Bhagavan is very far away. How? One and the same entity can be far and near. For those who hold their body as very near, for them Bhagavan is very far. For those, the body is not very near. For them, Bhagavan is very near. For worldly people, Bhagavan is very far. என்னைக்காவது ஒரு நாள் அடையணும் சுவாமிஜி. One mother told, you are telling nice things, Swamiji. One day or the other, I have that faith that I will attain him. Then I told, I pray to you, mother, for a long life, so that you will revise your opinion about attaining God. One day. One day means what? Not now. You only decided. Okay, Bhagavan also keep one day. What one day? Which one day? You have postponed, right? Tad antikecha is, for sadhus, he is very near, very dear. You can see in their lifestyle itself. Sadhus will be uncomfortable if they don't get time for prayers, for meditation, for serving the Lord, for chanting. They will become uncomfortable. Worldly person will be uncomfortable if he doesn't get coffee, kurkura, murmura, tiffin and tasty tiffin. Why? Because for a worldly person, body is very near. Therefore, whatever nice to the body also becomes very near. For sadhu, for a spiritual seeker, Bhagavan is very near. Therefore, he is ready to suffer even fasting. Sringeri Pitacharya Maharaj, elderly Pitacharya Maharaj, once he told to us, I eat only one Swamiji, and that too one kavalam. One kavalam means a handful of food, that's all, only once. But you see his body, very bulky, Acharya. Pavahari Baba. They get all energy from the Panchabhuta Tattva because their mind is with Shastram, with Puja. But if they sit for Puja, you can see even night hours, 1.5 hours, Rudra Puja, Abhisheka, Maharaj does. 1.5 hours. Without any body pain, he can sit with that bulky body. But he eats only once. Whole life, Kanchi Paramacharya ate only once. And that too in particular moment. If the moment is gone because of some other activities, he will fast. Why this commitment? Because they never loved their body. Ramana Rishi was smitten by someone. Everybody got angry except Ramana Maharishi. Why? Because he doesn't have love for body. So, those who don't have love for the body will develop love for you, my dear. For them, you are very near. Where there is love, there is nearness. Where there is nearness, that is the proof for love. Whatever you love, that is near to you. Understood? So, beautiful statement it is. Hey Bhagavan, te padabjam pumsam puryam vasati. You are available in their own heart. Very near. The very near word also is not correct word. You are themselves. But still you appear to be far away. Sitting in Vaikunta, dancing in Kailasha. And they enjoy that idea. How can a person accept that idea that Bhagavan is sitting or lying down in Vaikunta this time? If he has this conviction, if at all he can be everywhere, first he should be with me in my heart. Correct? So this conviction doesn't appear to the mind of the people, even though they are called so-called devotees. Hey Bhagavan, te padabjam pumsam puryam vasati. Your lotus feet is available in their own heart. But still, you appear to be far away for those who are attached to their body. Yet sanubandhe asati dekhe mama aham iti uda duragrahanam pumsam puryam vasatopi suduram. Due to visual error. Because what is very nearest is not available for our perception. We lose it. How? Because it is designed, the sense organs are designed. You are attached to sense organs. So naturally, whatever road it leads you, you will go. All the sense organs are turned outside. Paranchikani vedinat swayambhu. Tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. If you are not attached to senses, naturally you will see the antaratman. Kachit dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshate avritya chakshuhu amrutatvam icchan. If you are bhoga icharti, then you will go in the path of the sensory perceptions. If you are a moksha icharti, you become avritya chakshuhu. So, very difficult situation. Nobody teaches that person to be attached with the body because it comes with samskara. That samskara will go only when they attach with yourself. They can attach themselves with you only when they hear your glory. And your glory will enter their ears and mind only when they become less physically attached. Like Hiranyakashipu. Everyone is like Hiranyakashipu. Engagirar Kadavul, Engagirar Kadavul. Where is God? Where is God? Some told God is not here. Some told God is nowhere. Prahlada Swami told God is now here. Bhaktas told God is not here. Rakshasas told God is nowhere. Like Hiranyakashipu. Jnani says God is now and here. So therefore, one should be detached with his own body. First thing, reduce the consumption. What is the meaning of this sloka? Human being should reduce the consumption. Even though he cannot live without consumption, he should put a limit for his consumption. And he should be disciplined in consuming. What is the discipline in consuming? Feed the weaker section first, then you consume. Correct? In a house, who will get food first? Either children or elderly people. If the house owner first sits and eats, one who cooks, she herself eats. One who provides, he himself eats first. That's not the proper thing. So reduce the consumption first thing and feed the other mouth before feeding your mouth. Because you have that discrimination that it is not my mouth. Understood? Jnanis don't have this problem. Any mouth they feed, they are feeding themselves. But Ajnani, being ignorant, attached with the body, will have differentiation. This is not my mouth. Okay, let it be, no problem. But at least feed other mouth. In Mahabharata, Bhishmacharya gives this example that if you feed other mouth, you will get food for your mouth. So live for others' sake, society will live for you. This is the teaching should be given to the Kshatriyas. Live for society's sake, society will take care of you. So how he gave, he made all the 100 Kauravas and 5 Pandavas to sit in dining table and tied everyone's hand with a stick. Because of that, they cannot bend their hand. They can take the food in their hand, but they cannot bend and feed their mouth. So Kauravas tried their level best. Nothing happened. Pandavas, being sattvic, with less physical identity, with less physical attachment, Yudhishthira Maharaj feeds another mouth. Because you can take and feed without bending your hand, you can feed other mouth. What a beautiful teaching. You feed other mouth before feeding your mouth. Or you feed other mouth, your mouth will be fed. What is the proof, Swami? Every sannyasi is a proof. And that too in Ramakrishna mission, every sannyasi is a proof. All sannyasis are gundu gundus, all stout walas. No one you can find, no sannyasi in Ramakrishna mission you will find with emaciated body. Why? Because they are always available for Shivajnane, Jiva Seva. Plenty is available. So therefore, one who consumes less will have access to satsanga. And that satsanga will be a working satsanga. Otherwise, it will be a sangha of Kamandalu. Kamandalu also is having sangha with a sadhu. But Kamandalu doesn't get any transformation. Similarly, here the Devatas say, Oh Bhagavan, as long as the physical identity, physical attachment is intense, your satsanga is not going to help, your shastram is not going to help. Therefore, reduce our attachment and provide us satsanga. The glorification continues, we will see in the next class. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam Tadeva Shashvan Manaso Mahotsavam Tadeva Chokarnavam Shochanam Druna Yaduttama Shloka Yashonugiyate Gopika Jivana Smaranam Govinda Govinda.
कंसभयाने वसुदेवाने कंसभयाने वसुदेवाने नन्दय सोदा भागीरा नन्दय सोदा भागीरा आनन्दाच नन्दहरिहा देवकी नन्दन पागीरा